kids. So witty story na ta. Or it's 8:19 na.
Attention please.
So many years ago, so there lived a dog named Tom. Okay, so ngalan sa gido si Tom. So Tom was adopted as a pet in a wealthy household. Magaranon gidya wealthy household, and he was daily showered with nice food and affections. Imagine, naka-loving sang family nga na-istara niya. So, ginapaulanan siya, showered with nice foods and affections by his master. So, all day, Tom lived within the compound of the house, and he tried his best to guard the home. Ginatry ang best niya to guard the home of his master. So, whenever a thief or a burglar came within the vicinity, Tom would bark as loudly as he could to scare the guts of the culprit. Grabe. Grabe siya magtagol. So he was the favorite of his master. So when night fell, he slept on a nice blanket. And when day broke, he had his food served before him in no time. Wow, grabe ang life ni Tom. But the neighborhood dogs, ang mga tupadya balay da yung mga dogs, the neighborhood dogs were not so lucky, and they were jealous of Tom's fortune. So now and then, they would bark from outside the gates of Tom's house and syempre utter curses at him. Grabe, ginabuyayaw nila. Grabe, they utter curses. So grabe, ginabuyayaw nila si Tom. And all this disturbed Tom a little. So na-disturb man sa a little, but he would only say, pabayaan niya lang. Gamba lang sa poor fellows, kaluluoy sila. They have to struggle so much for their food while I am so lucky. I must not shout at them and add to their misery. Katahom sang maminsaro ni Tom, no? Niya kaluoy na sila. Okay, pati pagkaon ginaawayan pa nila. So hindi na ko yung magbalo sila or mag-shout man lang sila. And dugangan ko pag idang ilang misery. Grabing mindset ni Tom. So he kept quiet and went about his business, turning deaf ear to their insults. Why lang yan? Lapos lang. So one day as he was taking a walk with his master, Tom found that some kids were throwing stones at those same dogs who insulted him. Napangaboy sa mga kids mo na. So the dogs were cornered and they had nowhere to go. Kulbaanan sila mo na. They had nowhere to go. So they could in no way avoid being hit by the stones thrown at them by the kids. So many of them were bleeding. Imagine many of them were bleeding and barking so weakly. Do hindi nakatagol. So they're barking, kumbaga, they barking so weakly in protest. Do hindi na haluso nakatagol, but the boys or the kids were not in a mood to let go of them so lightly. So they pick up bigger stones and rocks and haboy gyapon to have some more fun pagid, and at the expense of the weak and the helpless dogs. Grabe sa mga bata. So Tom could not hold him back, or could not, iniya si Tom could not hold himself back. He was a strong build and had a very deep voice. Grabe, kululbaan sang voice ni Tom. Ka-deep sang iyang voice. So he knew that he could scare the boys. Kabalog siya. He knew that he could scare the kids. So he managed to wrench his leash free out of his master's hand, or his master's hands, and he ran towards the boys. Kadwa niya to. So the boys were startled. the boys were startled and grabe kibot kid sila, kulbaan sila. The boys were startled at the terrible barking. Grabe, terrible barking that Tom directed at them. So their blood, ang ilang blood, froze at the sight of the huge dog named Tom. Grabe. So bearing his fangs and running towards them. So they dropped their rocks and they ran away as fast as their legs could carry them. Lagyo na sila. So anong hambal ni Tom sa mga ido? Go home! Go home, said to his blooded abusers. Amo ning mga nagapang curse sa iyang mga ido eh. So Tom said, go home and no one will disturb you anymore. So he ran back to his master. Pagkadto siya balik, he ran back to his master who had seen all that Tom did. Kita gito ya sang iyang master, ang ginimo ya. So he patted Tom. Very good. Good boy. Very good. Praise him for his courage. So, that night, Tom's master, who had seen all that Tom did, isang amo to ang natabo. That night, Tom Masters saw a strange scene. Pagtanaw ya sa bintana, amo no? Though may nakita siya daw ka unusual nga scene. So the dogs whom the dogs whom Tom had saved in the morning had gathered near the gates of his house. They gathered, and it seemed as if they were telling something to his pet Tom. As if nga daw may ginambal sila. Gayang istorya magaling ido, no? So as if nga daw may ginahambal sila. So atuto sila sa gate. So maybe they are thanking Tom for his brave gesture. Amo na paminsar sa iyang master, ano na dislaman, basi nga pasalamat nila sa akon ido. So maybe they are thanking Tom for his brave gesture. And correct gid sa, and right he was. Dapat thank you gigaling mga ido. And from that day, Tom and his abusers had become friends. Nangin friends na sila. So Tom kindness had won over his abusers' hatred, and he had earned their love. He had earned their love. He had earned their respect and admiration that nothing on earth could buy. That's the end of the story.
Wow.
So if you like the story tonight, I want you to comment and I want you to give me your reaction. I want you to be honest. What's your insight with regard to our story tonight? So the moral of the story, let's be good. Let's be good to all. Kabalogid kuya, it's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, let's be good to all, even if they happen to be your enemies. So hopefully this 2023, let's be good to all. Kung hindi gid kaya, pangamuyo eh. Pray for it. Pray for strength, okay? And be good to all, okay? Especially to your enemies. It's 8:28 na. This is Cocoy. And if you want to react, text me now, 0912-718-7011.